What's going on, YouTube? The Last Musketeer here, coming at you with part 3 of the Neural Cloud free-to-play Is It Worth It series. So guys, we're starting out right away with finally getting to level 60 on Hatsuchiri. I talked last time about how hard it was for me to get XP overall to finally max out these heroes, and as you're playing through you do get a decent amount, but I actually took some time out of my farming to grind out like the highest level of the XP stage once I unlocked it. So getting the XP after that wasn't that difficult, though it does take a lot of keys to acquire that much XP. But starting out, we're at 43 of 90 of her next neural expansion. So we've got a bit of a ways to go for her still, but we're slowly progressing and getting her as strong as we possibly can. She's once again leagues above everyone else, and I'm just putting some effort into upgrading some of my others. I thought about using 2 actual healers while I'm doing these missions, because I think that overall, while Florence is good, she isn't strong enough to keep everyone alive yet. It's more so everyone gets knocked out and then Hatsuchiri carries the mission, and if you do that, as long as one of them survives, you go into the next part of the stage and everyone will be revived again just with very little health. So I figured maybe if I added a second healer, then chances are I'm probably going to have a little easier time going through, as long as I guarantee that Hatsuchiri survives. So I'm putting a little work in. Jin is probably one that I don't necessarily know is going to be better than Florence for me, but he does have a lot of heal potential. He's mainly heal potential, while Florence is more of a heal/support, so that she gives extra attack rate and extra damage, which is honestly probably better overall, but just not enough sustain yet. But I go in and decide to spend some of my extra neural fragments to get some of my other heroes up, because Hatsuchiri has been receiving all of them, and it is very expensive per piece for her at this point. I'm still doing it just so I can try to get her as high as possible, but I do need to share the love a little bit, because you'll see as you're going further and further into this game that it does take quite a lot of team effort as you're getting to these harder stages. But I do a bunch of endless exploration. I gotta say, endless exploration is fantastic. Having these on each one, they scale tremendously. The Rossum one, going up to 300, which is I think where I ended, it required a team power of like 18 or 20k, which is absolutely insane. That's the very first stage or chapter that you go through in this game. So it scaling that much just goes to show. I'm curious what the final reward is for reaching floor 400, because as I'm going through, I'm getting a lot of the advanced summons just from doing it. I do it 5 stages at a time, because you can play through them each individually, but if you beat a floor higher, then you get all the rewards from the previous floors without actually having to run them. It actually saves you a lot of time. So if you do these big power skips, you're going to get a lot more out of it, a lot more time saved overall anyway. But I do another summon. I'm doing a ton of summons in this. You'll notice as time goes on that I'm just getting them left and right each day. You know, even with playing for an hour and a half, whatever I'm able to do, I'm getting a ton of summons each day. So reaching that limit, at least early on, has been extremely easy. And I pull 5 guaranteed 2 stars, and one of them turns into a 3-star, which I'm always happy for. Whether it's a dupe or a new hero, I'm extremely happy. But I did get a new hero in some of the 2 stars. The 3-star, I get Hatsuchiri again, which is fine. It is the limited hero, and it's a dupe, so I get 300 neural fragments from a 3-star dupe. I'm very excited about that, but I don't know whether or not you guys want to see me do more of the fights or not. I usually do some of them and then try to skip to the bosses so you can see what the boss looks like at the end of them and what I'm capable of doing. But as you can see, Hatsuchiri is still carrying extremely hard. She did 37k damage to everybody else's like 4k or lower, so I have Hatsuchiri to thanks for all my success so far. But I wanted to talk for a moment about the factory, because this is very important for getting extra XP. You can also get basic search commands out of it, which is nice, but the algorithms and the XP are the main thing that I'm focusing on, so you'll have to build plenty of these. So make sure that your factory's going in all cylinders as much as possible. One of them you can build the XP and stuff, as I was talking about, but there's others that you can build intimacy items to help upgrade your total level with heroes, because it does unlock extra stats for them, as well with the neural fragments and more story and stuff. It's very cool, but this is the actual part of the event. I'm not sure if I showed any in the previous episodes, but I do love the aesthetic of this current event. It's very vibrant and bright with the beach scenery, a lot different than what I'm used to seeing in terms of the other campaign farming, because a lot of it is more dreary. It feels more like a factory setting, but being outside and having all this colorful action, it's actually a really nice change. And the reason I'm talking about it so much is, the thing with most games is some companies don't realize that the art has such a dramatic impact on people. And let me know in the comments personally how the art changes your perspective of a game. But for me, I like to have changes in scenery. I like to have different feelings towards certain stages, because I want things to be different, especially event-wise. If I can get a lot different artwork in events, then it feels like a whole new system to me. It doesn't feel like just watching through the same thing over and over again. I've ran into plenty of games where they don't put as much focus on art. They put it more into getting characters that everybody knows and loves. There's a lot of games out there that have the style of, I'm going to license a certain character from an anime that people love and use that as my main pool, compared to actually putting the time and love into your own characters, your own artwork, and making things look as pleasing to people as possible. And if people would, in the comments, if you're watching this, let me know what your favorite gacha game is and what it is about that game that made you fall in love with it. What was it? The artwork, the voice lines, the story, the characters, what is it that really drives you to keep going and keep going? Especially because I know some people that play games for multiple years and they still love it. What is it that made you keep going? Because a lot of times games don't realize that a lot of the things they put in, especially with the dailies, can turn into more of a chore for people going forward. Getting too involved in a game, having effects where it just feels like a job. But some games really capture that magic and keep that magic going. So I really want to know, just let me know in the comments, overall, what is your opinion on what makes the game so good? Because then maybe I can focus a little more story-wise, or talk more about something in each video, because I try to include everything and do key points, but more often than not, I don't know what people want to see in specific. So if you could let me know, and hopefully I can try to put forth more effort towards certain things. But anyway, getting off that tangent, guys, this is the Exception Protocol mission that I just unlocked, and the way it's done is you choose a set team. Now, the teams are set to a certain level and neural expansion, so I don't have as strong of a Hatsuchiri in this as I did in my regular play, so she wasn't quite able to carry. I ended up losing the boss fight, but overall you give yourself handicaps throughout that you can use to upgrade the amount of score that you can get, and getting to a high level or a high score on this is actually really hard. So it's something I'm gonna have to work on, experiment with, trying to find some teams that work a little better together. But as you can see here, I get the next neural expansion for Hatsuchiri. I believe she's one off the max. I think 5-star is the max. I could be wrong, but I'm going to need 100 of her neural fragments, which is going to take some time. But with how much I actually get per day, it seems like probably more often than not that halfway through the next week I will have her to all 100 and get her up, and it'll be nice to try that out, see how much the upgrade actually helps her, because it has some really nice upgrades. Other than just the extra level to the ultimate, I get some cooldown reduction for some other things. But as you can see there, I did some more endless exploration, got 5 advanced summons from that one, and then 300 is telling me I'm gonna have to have 20k power, and I'm not quite ready for that. I might be able to do it just because Hatsuchiri is so strong, but it is what it is. The achievements, I leveled up to level 10 now, and because it was a big milestone, I got 5 more advanced searches. So I went ahead and did everything I need. I'm sorry if there's a little loud. I've got a cat walking around on my desk, knocking over my water bottle, so hopefully it's not too loud on that. But as you can see here, we are very, very close to the actual redeem. And luckily here, I pull another 3-star hero, so it's a good way to send off my full 180 pulls on the Hatsuchiri banner. I get a new hero of all. So we do the redeem, and at first, you know, I thought it had been just the neural fragments, the 30 neural fragments, and I was like, that doesn't seem that great. I was completely wrong. You get an actual dupe of the character too, so if you hadn't had the hero, if you've gotten extremely unlucky on your pulls, you get a guaranteed of the limited banner, so that's fantastic to see. That's something I was really worried about. But the 30 fragments for free, for pulling, plus the dupe of the hero gives me 300 to spend towards something else if I want. So overall, like I said before, they do a really good job of expanding your whole roster through this. If it had been, I can only pull on the limited banner and only get neural fragments from that, I would be bashing this game system a lot more. But real quick, I want to show, because I hadn't been able to break through 60. These apparently are the ones that I'm going to have going forward, and they are a lot harder to get. You're doing your exception protocols, your vulnerability checks to buy them out of the store. They may be available in later missions, but it does say I cannot break through further past 60 until I clear stage like 626 or something like that. That's way down the road. So obviously I've got plenty of time to work through that. But as you can see, just from what I did there and my daily resets, I'm already at 74 out of 100 on Hatsuchiri. Like I said, it's extremely good and extremely giving in the sense of leveling your heroes through their neural expansion. Very excited at how the game looks, but I'm just showing you overall what I've been able to get to, because I finally got to episode 8 of the missions for getting the breakthrough fragments that you need for these heroes. So essentially, as far as questing goes, I'm doing extremely well. I'm getting most of what I've unlocked so far to its max. Obviously, I still have a long way to go in the story, and there's a lot of improvement that I still have to make, and I'm excited for that. That's something I'm looking forward to. You know, 414 was what I had to clear to get to that last point, so I just got to there, into the video, or into the recording mainly, as far as stage clearing with that, because I thought it would be the best place to stop, and plus I was trying not to go too far over so that I could make this video and get it out at a decent time today. But here's where I am in the event stages. I checked in hard mode. I guess it doesn't unlock until you actually clear the standard mode, but standard mode is really hard, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to complete that. As you can see, where it is currently is 16,000, nearly 17,000 power required, and I've still got a ways to go. And not just that, it ramps up quite a bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of it, it was already at like 24,000 to clear the final stage. But that's exciting, because then I can try to push myself in the last week that this event is available and try to get as far as I can. But as you can see here, 6,100 for Hatsuchiri is what I ended at. Very strong. Florence is nearly 5k. I put a little bit of love into her, unlocked her new banner with the neural expansion. Croc is still lagging behind, and she does get knocked out quite often, so I'm going to have to really put some time into her. Centaurisai has not been worked on forever, though I don't necessarily need her at this point. I'm working on some other heroes. Willow hasn't been worked on. Jin has been worked on a little bit, but not enough. Persicaria is one that I want to level up, because I noticed in her, in the overall tutorial thing, you can get her to maxed out completely in neural expansion just from doing the tutorial, and she's already a 3-star healer, so very nice. I'm excited to work her up and try to finish that in the next week, so I can show you just how strong she can be at her max. The fact that the game gives you that in itself, and a healer, is a huge thing, because healing, obviously without sustain, you can't do too much. But I'm showing you what the overall list looks like, so you can see they do give you everything you need to take them to full neural expansion, and plus you get advanced searches and keys along with it. And the basic searches as well are pretty nice, because they give a lot of supplies. You guys, I don't have too much more to talk about. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much in this video, but I just want to say, the support lately has been absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna put out a video a little later today. It may actually be before this one, just talking about what I'm gonna do with my channel going forward in the future, because I want to make some changes, get some more consistent content out. But hopefully you guys have been enjoying Neural Cloud. I know it doesn't get as many views, but I do really enjoy this game, and so I love making it. But you know, let me know what you want to see. Maybe you want me to work on certain characters and try to level them up and show you how far I can get with their progression, whatever you want me to do. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys. It's been a joy making this series. I'm loving interacting with the community. But I'll see you in the next one. Peace.